Hello and welcome to Thunderbird Blades. My name's Neil and today I'm excited to explore this little yellow fella, the KIZER Shard by Dirk Pinkerton, a knife that proves good things come in small packages. Okay, let's take a walk around the merchandise. The Shard is currently available at Blade HQ for $59. The business end of the knife is rocking a 2.25 inch Wharncliffe blade cut from Bowler N690. It's flat ground, has a ton of jimping, dual thumb studs and a badass black stonewash finish which contrasts really well with the yellow G10 scales. It's ridiculously sharp and hyper thin behind the edge, and the blade tapers up to a thickness of 0.11 inches at the spine, so it's nice and slicey. The blade is perfectly centered straight out of the box. Not surprising in my experience, KIZER's QC is always top notch. The action is light, it's smooth and it's snappy. The blade is riding on bearings and rockets out of the body like a stabbed rat. Look at that. For a micro blade, it's fairly drop shutty, although it needs a little tickle at times given the lightness of the blade stock. Moving on down the knife, we have some nicely contoured banana yellow G10 scales sitting on black skeletonized steel liners. I'll be honest, when this first popped up on my radar, I wasn't sure about the color scheme. But I gotta say, as soon as I saw it in the flesh, I was like, that's flipping awesome. The yellow pops against the black stonewash finish and is a refreshing break from black G10. I also think the color makes this knife appear less threatening, especially to people that get freaked out by sharp objects, even small ones. The finish on the G10 is smooth, and while the stippling has been polished out, the knife doesn't feel slippery in hand. In fact, there's plenty of grippage thanks to the grill pattern behind the pivot caps. It's exactly where it needs to be and is especially effective when pinching up on the knife. At the back end of the merch, we have an interesting lanyard hole. And as far as lanyard hole designs go, I quite like this one. Now, I have no intention of ever using it, but I think from an aesthetical point of view, it's nicely done and adds personality to the knife. On the flip side, we have an elegant loop over deep carry pocket clip with recessed screws, rocking the same black stonewash finish seen on the blade, hardware and standoffs. I love the clean, simplistic design, and I also like that it's proportionally appropriate for a knife of this size. Unfortunately, there's one thing that confuses me. While the blade has dual thumb studs, which is great news for goofy flipsters, the pocket clip is not reversible, which is bad news for goofy flipsters. So technically it's a right hand carry only. Sorry lefties. And finally we have the liner lock, which locks up about 30% and is rock solid. We also have a shallow lock bar access ramp on the show side, which makes disengaging the lock bar easy peasy. Nicely done, Dirk. Okay, time for a quick size comparison. Let's bring in a knife that's near and dear to my heart. The American-made Buck 722 Spitfire Boy Scouts of America edition. This was gifted to me for services rendered. And the Civivijoris in Hunter Orange. Overall length on the Shard from tip to tail is 5.5 inches. Looking at this lineup, it's fair to say it sits squarely in the small size category. And it's coming in at a fighting weight of 1.82 ounces, which for me is right in the Goldilocks zone for a knife of this size. Alright, so the ergos on the Shard are pretty good. I can get a 3.5 finger grip on the scales, and my thumb naturally rests up on the generous strip of jimping. If I'm being honest, this blade could do with a finger choil. I'd be happy to sacrifice some cutting length in order to choke up on the knife and acquire a stronger full 4-finger grip. That aside, in its current configuration, it does sit nicely in the hand and should be quite comfortable for most EDC type tasks. Okay, final thoughts. The Shard is a small knife with a big personality. Don't let the size fool you. This little bad boy punches well above its weight. The action is brilliant and the color scheme is bananas. It's budget friendly, and best of all, it's designed by a guy with arguably the coolest name ever, Dirk Pinkerton. Alright, that's it for today. If you like the video and want to see more, please click the like and subscribe buttons. If you think this sucks, you're always welcome to click that dislike button twice. Thanks so much for your time, stay safe, and as always, keep flipping awesome knives.